To preface, I'm not schizophrenic. I've taken drugs 2 times in my life, and both times has been insane. It has been out of this reality, quite literally. I'm going to explain one of those experiences. Not the first one. The first one, it was a THC overdose. I entered a hell loop, but I guess I can talk about that another time. This time we're going to talk about how the entirety of my brain chemistry has just been fried and fucked and pan flipped, and it was my ketamine and MDMA high. I did not overdose. The experience was transcendent. That's the only word I could use. It was transcendent. It wasn't a spiritual awakening. I felt consciousness. I saw consciousness with my own 2 eyes. I contemplate the purpose of life, the meaning behind my existence, a lot. Even before I took the drugs, I think about death. Not in a suicidal way. I have so many thoughts that are like confined in my brain that I can't let out with my mouth. There's just too much neuroactivity going on. I'm not saying that I know a lot. I am just a regular human being. But what I've experienced, I can't keep it to myself. It's too overwhelming. I have to let it out, or it's gonna consume me. It's already consuming me. But for a split moment during the high, when you get high, it's usually like this kind of curve. It's like the beginning of the high, and you enter the high, and it's at its peak for a while, and it slowly comes down. So, when I was high, for a split moment, I experienced nothingness. Thought of nothing. A vacuum. However, I involuntarily repeated the word consciousness, and out of nowhere, transcends. And out of nowhere, I involuntarily just repeatedly said consciousness. Oh my god, I look like a fucking insane person, but we're gonna say this anyways. And it was like a tick. Like, when you get a tick, it's like you can't control it. Somehow when I said the word consciousness repeatedly, it was like a tick. It was involuntary. I was not thinking. Nothing was in here. Because I was not in this objective reality. I was in a liminal space. You could say it's consciousness. Just involuntarily kept on repeating consciousness, and out of nowhere, transcends. And while I was in my trance, I just somehow put those words together. Consciousness transcends, and I went into almost like a insane kind of epiphany, kind of just consciousness transcends. It's like something just clicked. And while still in my trance, my friend who took ketamine, he involuntarily mumbled 2 cats. That's funny because I've only met him once, and which is today when we both took drugs. He took ketamine, I took ketamine and MDMA. And he just mumbled 2 cats. He doesn't know I own 2 cats. I never told him anything about my 2 cats. Strange coincidence, I know, but I kept asking him, how does he know I have 2 cats, despite, I was still in a trance, a bit high, but I was so shocked that I had to ask him, how did you know I have 2 cats? He said he didn't know, and it was just intuition. And he slept back into his trance, and then he said, I think I've died before. And I'm like, what the actual fuck? I'm here saying consciousness transcends, and he's in his K-hole saying that he thinks he's died before. And for some reason, my brain just merged those 2 together, and And I immediately put those two together and I just said, consciousness transcends. I think I've died before. Now, I was already in a complete overdrive. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? What was experienced was indescribable. Life only allows us to witness one reality when truly there's many. We can't fathom anything outside the confines of time and relativity. I've experienced very extreme time dilation, and you could imagine if you experienced time dilation, you would know how insane how insane all of this is. Um I've heard some people had experiences with salvia where it's like the time when they're actually high in this objective reality is like 5 minutes, but they lived through as like a rock for like 50 to 1,000 years. And I'm thinking, okay, physics and science doesn't let us surpass the speed of light. Because in order for time dilation to happen, we have to go faster than the speed of light, right? We have to defy every single thing that we've known, that we've measured, that we've studied to do so. And I don't think that's the solution. I don't think that's how we're going to get there. How we're going to get there, in fact, it's rather the altering of the human brain. And I'm not saying to do this through drugs, but the fact that drugs can do this, the fact that drugs can make you experience 50 to 1,000 to almost 1,000,000 years of living in the span of 5 minutes in objective reality is insane. Systems are simply how humans understand reality for now. We can't even fathom how deep the universe goes, yet curiosity is often suppressed. Human consciousness is different to hallucinations. What I've experienced is not just hallucinations, what I've experienced is deeply rooted in lived experience, memory, and intuition. Humans prefer to believe this reality is the only one because uncertainty, chaos, and death. We don't understand death at all, so we stay within the confines of comfort, even though reality is likely far deeper than we could ever imagine. Time has not changed in objective reality, and because I've experienced time dilation doesn't mean time stopped for everyone. It's rather that my deeper perception, in combination with time dilation, allowed my brain to think in meaning. That's how I would describe my high. It's something that's indescribable. Unless you've taken, I guess, for some people, really heavy doses of psychedelics, you can't fathom what I'm talking about. Because it's so different from reality. I don't know, I just want to know people that might have experienced something similar to me. Because once you exit that realm and you're back on Earth, and you're back in this reality, everything doesn't feel real at all. Because you've experienced something that the human brain was not supposed to experience. The human brain wasn't wired to understand things that are not grounded in this perceived environment. So when it does, it goes into overdrive, it goes into overthinking, it goes into paranoia, it goes into fear. Because we're not even at the tip of the iceberg of understanding reality at all. So when you exit, everything around you, every person, every scenery, every passing train, everything you eat, everything you smell, you see, it feels like a code in a system. Why? Because I've experienced. Because I've experienced something that is not what we are experiencing right now. I've seen things that our brains were not meant to see. And perhaps these are the consequences of my actions. I have to live with dissociation. I have to live with knowing that our world could all just be a simulation. And I want to make this video because yesterday I was feeling a little bit of paranoia. I guess the things that really trigger me into dissociation, and I go deep down, really deep down into dissociation, is repetitive movements, because repetitive movements, they happen a lot when I'm high, especially in my THC overdose experience. It's loops, right? This is what happens when our brain malfunctions, I guess. It's like a glitch in the system. So, for example, when my parents do like a repetitive action, it immediately like sends me back into that kind of simulation type experience, simulation type reality, and I become paranoia and I start shaking and I can't stop, and I go into overload, and my thoughts, they're not thoughts. So this is what I said during that very intense time. This was after the high, by the way. I'm back to normal. No, I'm not back to normal, but it's a few days after the high, and I said I'm scared. I'm scared that after experiencing reality from another perception, I'll never be able to see this reality like I used to. When my dad mops the floor, I think, why is he mopping the floor? It's strange, almost like a simulation. I'm more dissociative than ever. Things don't feel real and I'm scared. I'm scared. I can't live life the same. And I guess if everyone took drugs and they experience what I experience, I wouldn't be as scared, because it's a common collective experience. But the fact that no one has it, I feel isolation. I feel like I can't breathe. Please, I don't know what to do. I want to feel normal again. It's like when I talk to someone, there's an echo and I can't hear them. The table and wardrobes, everything behind me, the walls, everything I touch, feels like it's constructed, like it's fake, like it's not even like the Truman Show where it's like, oh, this dramatic, like I'm living in a false reality type thing. No, it's not. It's not that. It's not that at all. It's that I've realized consciousness transcends. What do I even mean by consciousness transcends? It's not in a way where it's like, oh, I die and my consciousness, I go to heaven, my soul leaves my body and I enter heaven, and it's very religious and spiritual. It's not like that at all. It's not what we perceive. It's not what we understand at all. It's completely different. It's completely unknown. It's completely insane. It's completely just arbitrary. Because I just see people walking on the streets in the city and they just all seem like a code in a system. Like when they walk, it's like robotic. But at the same time, I crave human connection so much, crave emotions. I'm so scared, yet somehow human touch it's so warm. And it takes me out of dissociation for just a little bit. Everything we see right now is only what we are allowed to see because we are restricted. So my final say is consciousness transcends. I think I've died before.